Hey, welcome to the natural way of life. Today's video, if you're new, if you're watching, I have just recently done a kind of cleanse and a bit of a detox for the last week. I'm gonna get into it, but I've done like a juice cleanse and also some fasting. I'm gonna talk through my reasons why, how it's been helpful, and kind of a lot of the benefits around it as well. So obviously let me know in comments if any of you have done any cleansing or fasting before and how you found it. Because I had this calling, I'm going to call it like my intuition. So my intuition had been talking to me for a long time, and I was getting these nudges to basically do a cleanse, like do a fast. And I had to follow this calling that I was getting, and it's really hard to describe it to people because it was an internal calling, like a spiritual calling, I'm gonna say, that I needed to do it and I wanted to do it. I say I have strong mental willpower when I really push myself, but I can also really struggle with staying strong mentally, especially around food. Food is just something I love, okay? I think as we all do, because the difference between like food and other substances people can use or be addicted to is with food we have to have food to survive. Like we need it. That's part of being a species here on earth. We have to be able to eat. However, I do notice emotionally I can use food to comfort myself or as something to feel good or feel nice, which obviously isn't the right way, but at least I can own it and I recognized it. And after going through some stresses, I realized, oh my god, like I've been eating certain things I probably shouldn't, having more sugar than I ever normally would. Not like loads, but just a lot more than I would want to be consuming. I also found, tying into being a highly sensitive person, being extremely empathic and intuitive, that actually a lot of the time I would take on others' feelings, others' emotions, others' problems that weren't mine, and that was affecting me. That's affecting my body. That was affecting how I felt. And it's always really hard when you have that ability to feel for others and want to help others. It's like learning the boundaries, and this all ties into obviously my cleanse, guys. So I'm explaining because I find it more helpful then. But yeah, I just realized like emotionally I could be, my body would be getting stimulated, like my nervous system, and that then can too much stress or pressure causes you to make poorer choices, poorer choices with food, with drinks, and normally I'm really, really strict. So I just felt like, look, my time was here and I was going to do it. Obviously, here in the UK, it's winter, it's freezing cold. That's what I would say was my biggest hurdle. So if I was going to do a cleanse again, like when I've done them in the past, I would definitely do this in summertime or at least warmer months, so I could basically have more willpower and strength. Because when you're like this in the cold consuming juice, gotta love a green juice, it was just super hard. I think that's what made me not do it for as long, just because it was actually, as much as I wanted to be consuming the juice, I actually just found it way too hard in the cold weather, in cold surroundings, and then having the cold juice. So that's where I struggled. So leading up to my cleanse, I definitely cut down again on the amount of food I was having. I had a lot more fruits, vegetables. I don't generally eat like much processed food anyway, only occasionally, like from time to time. So, and again with like refined sugar, apart from the occasional sweet treat, I don't add sugar to anything. I don't anything I have is like raw or fresh, like I make it myself. So I wouldn't say sugar was a major one for me. I think with me, what I've learned is it's when my energy dips, that's when I start feeling shaky and I'm like, oh my god, I just need to grab something. I think with me, that is more energetic from what I've learned. So again, if you're like a highly sensitive person, you do any kind of healing work, empathic abilities, maybe you're going to relate to what I'm saying, because this is something I'm definitely learning on my journey. Even knowing these things for years, it's actually sometimes like things have to repeat and repeat until we learn the lesson. So why I didn't really tell anyone about my cleanse as well, hence why I'm doing the video afterwards, because other people's energies again can interfere with your intentions and what it is you're wanting to do. Okay, people can easily have their own opinions of what like a juice cleanse or a cleanse is, roll their eyes, not really understand why you want to do it, and again, that negative energy directed towards you can be counterproductive at the time. So I only chose one person that I did tell. And then obviously during and after, yeah, I shared it with other people. But again, it was definitely easier to do your cleanse if it's just you. And I will say this as well. When you cleanse, it's also a time to be really still physically. Like you want to do it when you're not going to have any kind of stress coming up or anything major you have to do. You want to have that time to go inwards and to retreat inwards, because whilst in your silence, that's where you're going to hear your intuition more. That's where you're going to connect with consciousness and with energy, and it's really healing. I also did this for healing reasons too, to break unhealthy habits, but also I wanted to help heal my body, my cells. I wanted to feel good again. Like I just wanted to recharge and refresh my DNA, because we all need healing in ways, and I just think it's a sensible kind of thing to do. But it was definitely a time of reflection and retreat. It calmed my mind. I really felt like there wasn't so much going on. It was just like me, my body, what I'm consuming. It did help me break bad habits. I actually found the whole time I did not crave sugar once, and I still haven't. And like this is like, I'd say about 5 days or so after, I haven't craved sugar. I didn't think, oh my god, I want something sugary, or I want chocolate or sweets. Never thought about that once, weirdly. And they do say the same with fasting. Fasting again is really, really healing. So if you know anyone who's ill, has a disease, has cancer, anything like that, fasting, even if it's for 1 day, even if it's for 3 days, that is so beneficial to your body. It heals. Your central nervous system can rest. The body begins to detox, and it will rid itself of any poisonous substances within the cells. It's going to improve as well your immune system, your cells, your DNA. It recharges you, it regrows you. Like you'll literally have a glow. Even personality changes, and I noticed this. I noticed I didn't feel so much, I'm gonna say like anger or annoyance. That definitely decreased. I felt like more able to manage things or deal with things if they came up. If you fast as well, even intermittent fasting is really good, but it helps your consciousness. Like you genuinely connect more consciously into consciousness, like the energy. I stuck to a lot of water. I always have my herbal teas, so different herbs again have healing benefits for the body, and green juices. And I think I did some like pomegranate juice with can't remember what else was in it, but I literally stuck with green. So obviously if you do sweeter ones, you know, I think I did 4 to 5 days off the top of my head on my juices. But then because I was really struggling because of the temperature, I then had to incorporate like some soups as well, so like all blended, because when you have a juice, it goes into your system and your stomach doesn't have to work as hard, because it doesn't have to do so much work to break down obviously like the tougher substances like meat or carbohydrates. It's easily more absorbed. That's why cleansing also helps. It's also a reduction in your calorie intake highly. I felt lighter. Like I honestly felt more energized, guys. Like cleansing will be different for everyone. Some people are going to probably have like really bad headaches. They might have outbreaks in their skin. Like as you can see, like I don't literally have makeup on my skin, and like I don't have any blemishes. Like my skin's generally quite good anyway. I said makeup, sorry, I do have a tiny bit of like eye and just a little bit on my lip, but honestly, like I didn't get any really bad breakouts. I didn't get headaches, but this is also because I don't consume things like coffee, I don't smoke, I don't drink, so I don't literally put anything chemically based into my body anyway. Even skincare, I just use shea butter, coconut oil. Like I literally try and reduce my toxins to a minimum. Even cleaning products, I will try and use a natural alternative, or like a Castile soap or essential oils, or you know, if I am using things like a bleach and stuff, I just do it if I have to. You know, I'm not trying to breathe in those chemicals. I don't let them touch my skin, because again, your skin will absorb. So obviously the more toxic exposure you have, just like if someone wore a heavy face of makeup every day, or sprays loads of deodorant or perfumes onto themselves, it might seem like a harmless act, but actually that again is just loads of toxins that your skin absorbs, and obviously then your body has to filter it out. So I don't think I felt symptoms too bad, to be honest. I'll be honest. There was one of the days, a few days in though, this may be TMI for some people, so I'll kind of keep it not too, but basically my stomach kind of got a bit bloated again, and I just had a bit of diarrhea. But it's kind of part and parcel. Obviously there was just something my body couldn't handle and it needed to reject. And I do think there was, I'm going to say, a slight tie to something emotionally there too that came up and annoyed me at the time. So I think my body was actually kind of reacting to that. But after that, I was okay. And I found most evenings as well, I would just have like a hot herbal tea before bed. And I actually was enjoying the restriction, like to restrict myself and have that mental power and strength within me, where I was like, okay, I'm thinking about food. Like there is a lot of background noise that goes on where you are thinking about food, because you can be hungry. Obviously if I wasn't so cold, I probably would have drank more juices too, which would have filled me up more. But they do say when you fast or when you do a cleanse, your body talks to you, like intuitively. You will be told through your body, maybe through cravings or your senses, a food or something that your body is needing or desiring, or that is going to benefit you in some way. And I have to laugh because the whole time mine was meat. Like I literally didn't think about anything else apart from meat. I was like, oh my god, I just want to eat meat. And I always feel a bit conflicted with meat anyway, because I do eat meat, yes, but I also do love animals so much, and like I was battling with that. But I can't lie to you guys, it's in my DNA, on my family on both sides. Meats. They've always eaten meat, like it's just a thing. So some things, you know, like whereas some people give it this like they will never eat meat, or they're vegan or vegetarian or whatever. I say this, look, everyone's different. Whatever is right for you. And obviously there'll be things like in different countries, different things for different people, different cultures, you know, your own personal beliefs, but we should never judge another person based on what they eat. Because at the end of the day, like on earth, like the food chain is, you know, human, animals are below it, unfortunately, in the food chain of how it works. Then you got insects and, you know, so on. You get the picture. I just couldn't help it. That's being honest, that's what I wanted to eat. So I was like, oh my god. And like I don't believe my iron levels, they're not low. So I was like, this is interesting. So obviously my body's telling me it needs more protein as opposed to carbohydrate. And that was something I think I was doing before, having a lot more carbohydrate to compensate. Like, you know, oh, it's winter, it's cold, oh, like fill myself up, comfort myself, love myself. Oh, a carb feels nice, you know. Oh, a nice chip or a potato. I do love potatoes. Yeah, I was like, but I didn't think about that the whole time. It was literally just protein, like meat. So that was showing me again intuitively, that was my body talking to me. Everyone's experience will be different, but you will have like a communication within yourself, and it'll tell you what it wants then going forwards. So yeah, I also do believe for people, addictions can be broken. So if you are having, like, say, an addiction, maybe to coffee, to smoking, to drugs, maybe to alcohol, even a certain type of food, you know, maybe you just are addicted to something really unhealthy. A lot of people are addicted to sugar, because in the world we're in, sugar is put into everything. And actually sugar is just as addictive as cocaine. Like, I've actually read that statistically. I'm not just actually making that up. Like, I'm sure that is a fact out there. Just don't fact check me in case it's not, but I'm sure it is. it's a whole thing. And scarily enough, the system does put sugar into everything. Like, people are eating cereal and think they're healthy, but it's full of sugar. Natural sugars, I'm gonna say, are okay. They don't have the same effect as like refined sugar. So if you're having sugar through, like, let's say honey, or fruits, like, that's okay. But it's the refined sugar, because actually what that does is that really affects the balance of your body. So like for me, like, you, that saying, people, oh, you get a sugar rush, like, oh, you get, and then you crash. Like, it's not a natural process the body will filter through a food, for instance, because refined sugar isn't, you know, a natural thing. It has a lot of negative side effects for people, and then they'll find they're just going to like grab sugar again and again, or if they're having it in drinks, like, it's a really toxic thing. But doing a fast or a cleanse will help to break that. It's also about getting to the root of these problems. So like with me, I did address with myself, it's emotional eating. To the food is like, was filling a hole for love in my life that I don't have, or I'm not giving enough love to myself. So, you know, you have to own your stuff. And again, through these processes like fasting or cleansing, it will bring you into closer connection with yourself. And that's what it's about. I always say this to people: don't search the answers you need outside of you, because the answers you need are within you. And sometimes, just like, the biggest thing is admitting and recognizing, even within yourself, okay, this is something I struggle with. Okay, I'm aware of it, you know? And it's, how can I love myself otherwise, you know? How else can I show love to myself? And for me, one of those things was doing my cleanse and my fasting. And now going forward, like, I'm going to continue every day. I start my day with like a herbal, then I have a juice, and then I'm trying to stick to like the 12 to 8 fast. No, the 12 to 8 eating window, and then I fast for like, you know, 12 to 16 hours a day, because for me personally, I found that most effective. Like, that seems to really suit me. Before, when I lost a couple of stone, I think it was like back around 2022, that was one of my things, intermittent fasting, I think they call it, because your body has a chance to rest overnight, your organs have a chance to rest, you have an increase in the growth hormone in the body. And for me, again, it's not going to be for everyone, because guess what, we're all different. We're not meant to be the same. There's not meant to be one diet or one way, because we're all uniquely made. We all have different ancestors, different DNA, we live differently, we breathe different air, like, we're meant to be unique. So don't put yourself into a box that you have to do things a certain way. Just find what works for you, and don't restrict yourself like too much with things. So for me, that intermittent fasting works, because changing my eating habits, so having like more protein, and even like fruits or vegetables, again, that are like lower carbohydrates, so they haven't got as much starch to break down, I feel is gonna help me better. And that's kind of what I did before and worked for me more as well. But I just felt so much more revived, so much more energy. I wasn't having like the crashes so much around midday or afternoon, because that's when actually I'm starting to just feed my system. So I did honestly feel, guys, like a huge surge in like my own energy and life force. I felt like a clearer mind, I felt more connected in all ways. So overall, my experience was really, really positive. That's why I wanted to share it, just to like help and inspire others as well. And even like with my skin, I just felt like it was smoother, it had a better glow to it, it just looked better. I was just impressed. So I've decided I am definitely gonna do another cleanse summertime and fasting, and you know, as and when I feel able to as well, I will increase my fasting times. And also, there's going to be times in the month as well, especially as women, so like when we have our periods, that is not a good time to do a cleanse or a fast. You know, listen to your body intuitively, like, don't put it through pain, like, just honor what your body needs. And back to that point too, as women, if you're gonna do a cleanse or any type of fasting, do it at, like, I would say the midpoint in your cycle, potentially. So after you have your period, maybe wait a couple of days after that until your energy levels and your hormones are rising. That could be a good time to do one. maybe even around ovulation. But then as you go into your premenstrual phase or your menstrual phase, avoid, I would say avoid cleansing or fasting potentially, because you may need to give your body a bit more nourishment at that time. But yeah, I will keep you all posted on my progress and if I do another one. And yeah, just re-find yourself. And sometimes what it takes is that inner self-control, that inner strength that even in rock bottom dark times you don't think you have. I'm someone that has been there, and you can pull yourself out of it. And for me, this was just a little prompt along the way, and it kind of ties in because we are starting to slowly approach the springtime now. So this winter months where we've all been hibernating away, it's slowly coming back out towards springtime now. So it is a good chance to kind of like revitalize ourselves in a world that is constantly toxic. And yeah, not just like on a physical level, but also energetic and spiritually too. I also did a lot of cleansing, like in the home as well, detoxing, even people, things in the house, you know, stuff you don't need anymore. It's a good time to assess it all, look at your boundaries, look at what's working for you and what's not, because energy, I always say it, is everything. Everything is also connected. So maybe an impact a family member has on you, or a friend, maybe the impact of clutter in your home, it's all going to energetically affect you as well and tie into the choices you make every day through what you eat, through what you drink, through what you consume. And when we say consume, yes, consuming as in food and drink, but also consume, what are you listening to, what are you watching, who are you around, who are you in contact with, who is in your phone, because all those things have an energetic effect on us. And the more sensitive you are, the more that those things can literally wreak havoc in your life. So just take that time to assess those things. That's what I did, and I honestly can say I feel so much better for it. So thank you so much for watching. I hope this has been helpful, and I look forward to bringing you guys some more videos as well. Thank you so much.